We're back at it again. It's Mika and Louise from Love Speaks Volumes. We are glad to be back with you all. We are starting a new series. It's going to be a series on love over the decades. So we're going to be highlighting some couples who are new in this game, who have been in this game for, a few years and who have been in this game for a while. So we want you to know, like, hey, you are not in this alone. We know that there are couples who have just started, and we know that there are some couples who have been in it for a minute, but hopefully we all can learn something from each other. And so with that being said, we're going to get right in it. So today we have a couple who are engaged. Congratulations. We have Tiara and Darren with us, and we going to talk to them today, and we going to get all up in their business. They didn't know, but we are. But nonetheless, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So, hey.
How you doing? Thank you.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you
Greatly
for
appreciate it.
having us and inviting us and letting me into your house.
Well,
Southern hospitality here.
y'all don't know, but Darren was excited about this.
Indeed.
Tiara was a little bit nervous. She probably should be.
I
am. But no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So you want to kick it off, friend?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So first, just tell us your names, maybe how you guys met, all that good stuff.
Go ahead, my love.
Oh boy.
My love, did you catch that, Mika?
I did.
Did you catch that? My love.
I caught that.
Aaron.
Now we're going to check back with him in about 5 years and still see if he's
We're going to have him back on.
love.
See if he's still my loving it.
I'm Tiara, or T, and this is Darian, my partner.
Or Bone, or D.
Okay.
Whatever, or Pudgy, as I call him.
So what are we calling you for this interview? D, Bone, T, Tiara, Darian.
I'm T.
I'm Darian.
That's it. This is who we are.
All right. How did you guys meet?
Wow. I want to say this is my high school sweetheart. So I want to get that off my shoulder because...
Well, you don't have to want to say it, Darren. You can say it.
Well...
Just say it.
High school sweetheart. High school band.
You were in the band?
You was in the band, but I would say I was in sports. So it was just kind of was... I don't know if we want to say like a high school story, just meeting together. It's like, oh, band, oh, sports, kind of thing. And then it was just love at first sight. I ain't gonna lie. It was love at first sight with us.
So was it love at first sight for you, Tiara? But Darian, he said it was love at first sight.
Yes.
Was it love at first sight for you?
Yes, I approached him first.
Oh, okay. Come with it. Girls rule the world.
She changed the game on me. I'm not gonna lie.
She changed the game.
She changed the game on me. Like it was. Usually back in my days, the guys we approach. We do the approaching. So
Got it. Yeah, he real.
We do the approaching. So
Okay.
have a female being aggressive, just coming like, yo, I'm being assertive. I know what I want. I like you. And it's like, okay, who are you? It was. That's why I say it was love at first sight, because that wasn't like something I'm norm to. So like, she put me on my shell, and I adore that.
All right.
So I know what high school you guys went to. I don't remember seeing y'all together. Were y'all together in high school?
Yes, it's.
They were on the sneak tip.
No,
they was on the down low tip.
No,
we was
so
on the other cover. This my boo thing, but y'all don't know it's my boo thing kind of thing.
It was the last day of school, our junior year, is when we met.
Okay.
And then we dated over the summer, and then we split for our senior year. And we kind of rekindled back in the end of the year of our senior year. So that's why you probably didn't see us together.
Matter of fact.
No.
Date shit.
You remember it differently?
No,
Darren,
she's
you remember
right.
it
She's
differently?
right. It's crazy to know she's right because now y'all be having the question like, so what about freshman and sophomore year? So crazy, we didn't even see each other.
I didn't know he existed.
We didn't know neither one of us existed, like freshman and sophomore. But our friends we was hanging out with was the same exact friends. But we never seen each other. So that's why I say it was love at first sight, because soon we saw each other, it was like, who are you? I never seen you. So it was one of those times.
So it was meant to be. So how long have you guys been together?
Wow.
Collectively or over the years?
Well, all together.
Oh, boy.
Since you first started really getting heavy with it. How long have you been? Yeah, heavy with it. We engaged, so we heavy with it now.
Oh,
Ain't no play things now.
It's been 5 years since we've rekindled. We split for 10, and then we rekindled.
Okay, so since you rekindled, it's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years.
Steady.
Yes.
Good deal. So I'm gonna ask you, Darren, how did you know she was the one to put the ring on it? Because he put a ring on it, and that's a nice ring. He playing with he won't play with it. He put that ring on it.
She was shining too. She was shining.
She was shining the ring. It's beautiful. She should.
She just did it. She was like,
She did. She did it slyly. She said, She did like that.
I would tell you this. I have quite a bit of experience just like dating.
Okay.
I guess like for us guys, when we notice like when that woman is different than what we have dated and she stands out, like she makes herself known, like that draws us. So I stick that first because my experience that I have with women, I'm like, it's been up and down. But when it comes back to her, it's like you outshine all of them. So it's like I know like what's home. It's like when you like with your mom and it's like you go off to college, but it's like you always come back, you know what I'm saying? Home, it's like no matter what, oh, that's home. Like that's what the feeling I felt because I went out to college, I went out to the military, so I did those things. So and it's like I always felt like, oh, you got my heart, like you home, like no matter where I went. Like I always felt that, you know. So it's just that connection where you have, it's like, man, you can't do nothing with that, but just come back to it. So
wow,
it's one of those things.
That's beautiful. So sort of like with home, you feel the most comfortable there. You know you can be yourself at home. You don't have to put on no pretense. And so with your significant other, you're saying, listen, this is how I knew she was the one because I could feel at home with her. I could feel myself. I could be myself with her. I feel that. That's all right. So y'all hear it. Look, that's how you know if you can be yourself and be authentic and it feels like home. That's your boo. That's your one. That's the one to put the ring on. That's the one to accept the ring from. I hear you. Okay. Good deal. So, Darian, you said I've been around. You know, I've not been around in that way. I wasn't, but you were saying, you know, I have some experience. I've been to the military, you know, so I get it. So I know that you do have a little one. You have an 11-year-old, right? So, Tiara, how was it adjusting to being quasi stepmom? How was that adjustment? Because I mean, honestly, you know, people are getting, you know, they're getting engaged actually later in life now. They're not, you know, like our grandparents, got married when they're young. People are now really living their lives. They're actually getting into careers. They're doing their thing, and then they're getting married. So you're not alone when you're coming to a relationship and you already have had a past relationship or you have children from a past relationship. So tell us, how you adjusted to now becoming, mommy.
That was fun. Coming from years of being alone. So I lived alone. I didn't have anyone to really come and answer to or anything like that. And the thing about Darian was he didn't let me meet her until he knew for sure. Like, okay, I'm ready to pursue this with you. And he would take his time off to spend with his daughter. And he made that very, very clear. He said, okay, I'm going to spend my time with her. So I knew right then and there he was going to be open to, you know, talking to me about her and getting me prepared and letting me meet her, you know, for little bits of time, or questioning her as father to daughter and saying, okay, is this okay? How are we? So moving into being around her full time was difficult, and I'm not gonna lie. That was a thing that I had to get adjusted to, because what she grew up with her mom and what he's raising her to be, I'm having to try to fill in and find my place. And since he and I have known each other prior to Tiny Child, I already knew that he wanted a child. I already knew that that's who that was, and I knew my place. And I guess some women may feel like the woman should come first, then the child. But I think with me, I knew that she's going to always come first. I'm a daughter of a father, so I come first. And if I don't, I'm going to come first because that's my job. And so I allowed for that to happen. And it allowed for our relationship to grow. And she is the best kid because of that, because they have a relationship. He's in her life. He's not flitting in and out, and he's not giving them, you know, or he's not telling her, oh, I'll come and see you, and then he doesn't keep his promise. So I see him interact with her, which lets me know how he will interact with me, because he's sensitive with her.
Well, you touched on a lot of things that I was going to ask you. I mean, you already touched on it, because one of the things I was going to ask you was, how do you adjust to, when you're in a new relationship or you're trying to build, how do you adjust to being not necessarily the priority? And so with a child, it's kind of, you know, I heard this question that was on, I think it was on DL Hughley, so, and it was a couple of weeks ago, but the question was, should your spouse or your significant other be your priority, or should your child be your priority? And so I was going to ask you that, but you kind of already touched on it, and you said, hey, you know, I understood that is my place, that she's going to always be the priority. Now, it's interesting when you get married. Now you're the fiance, you were the girlfriend, now you're the fiance. When you get married, you're wifey now. And a lot of people always say, you know, you cling to your wife and forsake all others. How do you feel like your attitude would change, or do you feel like you would feel differently once you are wifey, that, hey, I think you need to prioritize me more as opposed to prioritizing the child more?
I don't think that a piece of paper it's a piece of paper that says, okay, yes, you guys are legally married. Names will change. But no. Like, our home should remain the same in certain things. Yes, I'm wife. I can make decisions for her or him in some capacity. But no, she's always going to come first. And I'm going to put her first, too.
So, Darian, Tiara's already talked about how she's adjusted. So I have a question for you. How did you get your daughter to adjust to having another female in your life? Because you know there is plenty of people out here who are dating, trying to get their love back together. You know what I'm saying? Their love groove on, but they have children, and it's hard to break to your child, hey, I'm trying to spend time with this particular person, as well as, dad don't want you to feel like you're left out. I still love you. So how did you have that conversation? How did you get your daughter to adjust to having another female in your life?
I would say, first off, I had to start with balance. Balance and happiness.
So how did you create that balance for yourself and for her?
So in a way, I can kind of open up and say this. I've been through a lot. That'll be the main thing. And my daughter always been there. seeing everything with me. So with her being able to pretty much go on the adventure with me, she understands, like, I guess the way I move, my way I talk, everything. So she's like one of my key supporters. Even though I'm her supporter, she's one of my key supporters. So she just want to make sure, hey, like, Daddy, at the end of the day, I want to make sure you're happy. That's why I want to say, happiness. Because, it's just, I guess for me, when I look at my kids, like, oh, you making it sure I'm keeping it simple. Because that's the same thing, she's saying to me, hey, Daddy, you just being happy is just simple things. I guess with us adults, when we start getting going, we make things complicated for ourselves, instead of just, keeping it simple. And that's why we look at our kids like, oh, they so innocent, oh, they so sweet, because they keeping it simple for us. So she just remind me, the main thing, like, Daddy, I just want you to be happy. Just regardless, with someone or not, I just want to make sure you're happy. So when, she look at both me and T, she's like, oh, I see your happiness. So that's her whole thing. I say another thing I teach is just being positive. So that, tie into being happiness, because, nobody want to see negative stuff going around you and stuff like that. Not just that, we see negative stuff all the time. So her main thing is like, you know what? Okay. Regardless of that, I like positive. How can we change that into positive? All that is what the same thing I teach her, So her showing me that, giving me that, it's like, okay, these are things I teach you. You remind me of this every day. The things that I'm teaching you, the things that you're showing me is like, oh, this is what I taught you. So it's like just carrying that, me as a person, just reminding who I am as a person. And that's the main key thing, because whoever I teach her, it's like, that's me. So it's like, all right, you're reminding who I am at the end of the day. I always tell her at the end of the day, you're my twin. You're my twin. You're just a little version of me, or you're a little female version of me who I was as a kid. So I don't know, it's just...
And I'm going to cut in for just a second there. I think the biggest thing that worked for us was we did a lot of things together. Once she stepped into the house with us, everything is open. So
yes,
what she sees, what she get.
If we're in the kitchen together. So when you say do a lot of things together, are you saying the three of you, or she's watched the two of you do a lot of things together, which made her comfortable? Explain. Okay.
Both. So she'll see us
cooking.
Yeah, right. We'll be in the kitchen cooking together, and we operate as a team. And sometimes we'll pull her in, or sometimes we're all just talking to her and she's doing something different. But she saw the dynamic and the togetherness. And I made it a point to not push her out. And I talked to her on a lot of occasions as our relationship was just building again. And I was telling her, you come first. Mm-hmm. I've had him in a way, but you now come first. So if you're uncomfortable, if you have something to talk about, then you need, that's your place. You speak up and don't feel like I'm pushing you out. And that's not the case. If anything, I'm the one who's going to get pushed out. But she never took it that way. She never tried to put us together and say, well, you're taking my dad away from me. And I don't think she's ever felt like that.
She's on the right path. That's why I love you so much. So, pick off what you said. The thing I had, this is something I have with her. I told my daughter, I was like, look, I want to show you how a female should be treated.
Wow. And that is amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing, because we have to teach our daughters. Exactly. We have to teach our sons how to treat young women, and we have to teach our daughters how they should be treated, right? And what to accept, what not to accept. Right. But so that's amazing. Go ahead.
So that's just hearing her saying that, and it's just like, and she's nailing on it, because I had to make sure I was slowly showing my affection around my daughter. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to give her too much, but showing my love that I have for T, around her. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, social media and stuff, it can have things twisted up, and I don't want her to see that. I want her to show see everything genuine and real, like you said, authentic. So that was my main thing, having a conversation with my daughter, wait, someday you're going to have a guy in your life, I got to make sure, I'm honest and upfront with you. You're going to have that day. but I want to make sure you understand and see how it is to be treated, you know? And not just that, like, you get a lot from me. Like, you know, with her, she gets a lot from me. But it's one thing getting from me, but you see it in a different eyes or a different perspective. And it's like, where she see it with me and T, it's like, oh, okay. Like, a lot of things is making sense. Not just that, I can know what to expect in the future, you know? So.
But you're also showing her that it is okay for a man to show that he loves you rather than just saying it. Because love to me is an action word. It's not just a word that you speak. It's something that you show. You feel love. You can say I love you. You can say I like you. But until your actions speak louder than your words, we really don't receive it, right? So I like that. I really appreciate you, Tiara, and you said when you made it comfortable for her. You said, hey, you speak up if something is bothering you. You speak up and let me know if this is uncomfortable for you. That put her in a position where, as a young child, you know what I'm saying, to be able, one, to be able to communicate, and two, to be able to know that, hey, this is a safe space for you to be able to open up. You know, us as adults, we can adjust. It's not as easy for a kid who's going through something emotionally to be able to speak up or feel free enough to speak up. So that is amazing that you gave her that safe space and you allowed her to say, hey, you can come. If you know, anything needs to be adjusted, we'll do the adjusting, but you need to let us know, and you're okay to let us know that this is bothering you, or this is you're not okay with this. Because guess what? You chose that relationship. She didn't. You know what I'm saying? She didn't even choose to be here. So it's a lot more difficult for her to be able to adjust to all the dynamics of adding someone else into her dad's life, you know, than it is for you all, you know, because you chose this. She didn't, right? So I really appreciate that.
That was the biggest thing with me. I'd never dated anybody that had a child. And at one point that was my thing. I'm not going to date a guy that has a child because I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know how this child is going to respond to me being in this home or vice versa. But when we got together, I already knew that she was around. I knew it wasn't a surprise. I was aware the day that she was born, and I was aware up until the day I reached out to him. Like, I knew that. So I made that conscious decision. And I took my time in making that decision to say, if I step into his life, that means I'm stepping into hers. And if I'm not serious about this, if I don't want to pursue anything like this, I can't, in good faith, get this child, one, attached to me in some way, positive or negative. I don't want to shine a bad light on what could be. And a lot of times I think of that, if we're going through something, I have to think about, how is this going to translate to her? How does she see it at her age? How did I see it at my age? Well, at my age, but then at her age too, how did I see anything that went on between my parents or what they were dealing with? So I went into that knowing, okay, she comes first. She's here first. I'm the add-on, though I think a lot of times we feel like some women think it's the opposite. The child's the add-on. And it's not that, you know, it's not the case.
So I had tell me how old you guys are, if you don't mind.
33.
Okay. And you too, as well. I think that was such a mature perspective to take on, you know, how will my actions and the things that I go through and the things that I say and how we're interacting will affect her. Because I think even some people who are older are having a really hard time. Now, with my son who's 14, I say this to him all the time. Your decisions and the things you say and do impact others that are around you who love you.
Yes.
But I know people who are way older than you guys who are still grappling with the fact that don't realize the fact that the decisions you make and the things that you say impact everybody else around you. And so they don't take the time to sit and think about how is this going to impact her if I do or say this thing. So I think that's a very mature perspective, even, you know, not that you shouldn't be mature at 30, but I'm just saying I know people who are much older who still haven't grasped that, you know? But I got a question for you, Darian. So we've been talking about the baby girl, and we talked about, you know, hey, she is our priority. But us women, I will say, we like to feel special too.
Oh yeah.
So you know, and even though you have a great lady and she is, you know, she knows her place and she knows that, you know, hey, you know, I'm the add-on, as you know, that's your turn. But she also knows, you know, I know his daughter comes first, you know. So how do you, and you talked about balance, how do you balance making sure that she feels, even though your daughter may be your top priority in your relationship, and some people may see it differently, but in your relationship, you guys have both defined that, hey, my daughter is going to be the top priority.
Yes.
But how do you balance that out and make sure that your lady also feels special, because you want her to stay, you know, by your side. And so you have to balance that out and show her that you're special to me as well. And you're also a priority and not an option. So how do you do that?
I think that's a great question, because
Well, thank you, Darian. I pride myself on asking good questions.
That's a good question, because it's gonna hit home for a lot of guys. Because one thing I'll say that we fail on is asking questions what a lady wants. I think that's what we fail on. So it's really taking the time of being patient and understanding, like, okay, what is a woman wants and needs? A lot of times women are saying things, but we're not listening, you know, to
and I
what
was
they
going to say the same
you know?
thing.
So
yeah, you got to listen when
you have to.
You ask the question, but you got to be able to hear it.
Exactly.
You got to be able to listen.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's one of the main things I made sure, like, coming into a relationship, is just making sure I'm listening to her with anything. Because you piggybacking off of what I'm saying with my daughter, because I'm listening to everything she says. If you're a kid, you're going to like, oh, that don't make sense, or, you know, it triggers you. But when you know, sometimes with guys, when we get carried away, what'd you say? Oh, I ain't hear you. Oh, you know, it just keep moving. It's like, nah, you got to make sure of being detailed, like, still, because that probably is something important to her. It may not be important to you, but it's important to her. So it's like, that's what you're saying, like, keeping that balance, just making sure of, even if something not being important to her, to me, like, we have these conversations sometimes, I'm making sure I'm listening, being attentive to her, like, okay, this is her time. This is what she needs, you know.
But on the flip side, to be able to listen, to what somebody is saying, they have to be saying something. So that means you have to be communicating. A lot of times I find as women, and I'm so much better about this, but my own thing, I would say, well, he should have known. We've been together long enough. He should have known. Or he, you know, why would he get me this? He knew that. But we're kind of those creatures who want you to pick up on things without, and I don't think that's really fair to our significant others. I think you need to open your mouth and communicate, because that way, now it's different if I tell you something and then you decide to do something different because you're not listening, right? And you don't hear me. But I feel like it's unfair for us to sit back and think that you're mind readers. Like, we always tell you all, we're not mind readers, but neither are you. Neither are you. So we sit back and we say, well, he should have known, or he knows I've never done such and such, so he should have known. No, did you say? You should have said. And that way you should have heard. And that way you should have listened. That way you should have reacted differently, right? So
I don't think I actually do that.
I would say, no, you don't. The great thing I like about what she was saying that you do is that, and I'm not saying you over communicate, you make sure you get everything out. And I think that's where she's like, yeah.
I'm totally guilty of that. If my husband was here, he would say, to ad nauseum. She's like, she go on and on. She makes sure you get her point.
Exactly. And that's how I feel with her. So that's why I was like what you're saying, that's why I can listen. Because even sometimes, and I tell her sometimes, like, hey, you said it again. You already said that, before. But I guess it's me, I enjoy listening to her because
Y'all killing me. You're killing me with this love. But go ahead.
I do, because like I'm always still learning. That's one thing I love about like her, because I'm always observing, and that's why I tell her I'm always observing you. I'm always learning something. Like even when we get old and grow, I don't feel like I'm going like not know everything about her. I feel like I'm always
You're not,
learn.
because guess what? She's gonna evolve. She's gonna change the older she gets. She's just, things are gonna change. Her likes and her interests are gonna change. But long as you are attentive and as long as she's speaking, hey, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So I got one more question for you guys before we get to some fun stuff. Because I know there are couples out here who want to know this. How long did it take for you to decide I'm now going to introduce her to my daughter?
I can't put a time frame. I gotta say it was a feeling.
Okay.
I don't remember the time frame, but I can say the feeling. I can say the emotion and feeling. It's pretty much when I knew she was invested in this for a long time.
Okay. And what made you know that?
Yeah.
She said, inquiring minds want to know.
Yes. Is how to explain. It's like when a new couple, girlfriend, boyfriend, you pretty much meet. The first stage is a talking stage. We all know that. You're doing a talking stage. But then when you get to the boyfriend and girlfriend stage, you can tell when someone is like, oh, you just here for a short time. Like you say, short time for a good time. Or you say, oh, okay, I'm really invested for a long time. That's where I really knew when she was like, look, like, we come into this, is like, I'm not here for a short time. I'm not here for no games. I'm here for a long time. Hey, me too. So it's like we align it together on that. Like it's like, we can adjust to that. So that's when it really clicked to me, where she pretty much put it to me like, hey, like I want a ring. That's pretty much my long term. She straight up at the beginning, like I'm here investing. I want a ring.
Now, were you able to determine that she was there for the long haul because I think sometimes it's not about what people say, it's about what they do. And so what I mean by that is when things got rough, did she cut out and leave and say, hey, we just boyfriend, girlfriend, I'm out of here. I don't have to deal with this. Or did she say, or vice versa, it could be him too. Did she say, listen, I need a minute. Go over there for a minute and I don't need to see your face for a minute, but we gonna regroup and we gonna work this thing out together. Because then that's when I know people are in it for the long haul, because you're willing to work through some shiggity. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to saying, listen, I don't have to be here. Soon as things get rough, you out the door. That means you ain't really in it. You know what I'm saying? So was that experience for you?
Yes, I highlight it because I know a lot of people out here experience this COVID. Like when COVID came, COVID changed.
Tested a lot of relationships.
Man, when
people were stuck in the house, you couldn't go nowhere. So you either had to deal with each other or decide, I'm not dealing with you at all and be gone. So yeah, COVID did some stuff.
Let's say this. When we first started, everything was just rolling. It was just rolling so good and like peacefully. I think COVID like really helped us. Like some people is like, oh my gosh, yes. Okay. But COVID really brought us closer together. Like it really made us open up and learn each other, because we want to do this for the long term, but we need to like have some of these doors open up where it's like, hey, we got to be truthful, like real with each other. Highlight one thing, financially, we know that's the biggest thing in couples. So that really opened up the doors for us, because when COVID hit, like we have a house, so it's like, oh, mortgage. We ain't talking about rent. So we talking about real priorities here. Me having a kid, so I'm thinking of bills or, hospital or, medical bills. Then it's like those little things. It starts to add up, and it really puts you in a perspective like, okay, we're not just going for, this is reality. Like we got to really like sit here and like really think like, oh, be open to each other. Like this is reality now. Like, are we really, doing this? Are we in this? Like we having some hard times, but we're going to stay together or we're going to really push through this.
So are you guys saying you really had to sit down and have those conversations, those hard conversations about, because being you're in your 30s, you're set in your ways, you're set in, I like to do things the way I do things, but now you're trying to, you're trying to mesh the two. And so, you got to mesh your finance. You got to mesh your, whatever credits that you have. Like you may have good credit. You may have bad credit. You may have a lot of debt. You may have no debt. So now you got to figure out how to make that work together. Did you guys sit down and actually have those conversations before you decided to put a ring on it? Show me girl the ring again. Show me girl the ring. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. I had to make sure because, we can kind of highlight this. Like, I already had a previous marriage, so I had to really make sure, like, with this right here, I love her so much. I don't want her to be in no position where she feel like she fell for herself, not for me, but for herself. So I was like, you know what? I want us to be in an open position where it's like, oh, we can succeed, through anything, no matter what, because like I said at the beginning, like she's home. So it don't matter where we go or where we at, we can succeed and do whatever we need to do. So that was just, like you said, having really deep conversations like, look, like, yeah, I'm here.
And those are hard conversations sometimes. And like finances is hard, religion is hard. You got to mesh your religious views, how to raise kids. That's some hard stuff to talk about. That's some hard shit. I ain't gonna lie, that's some hard stuff to really talk about when you decide, hey, we gonna come together as two to make one household, one lifestyle, it's hard. Those are the things you really have to delve into. But I'm proud of you guys for doing that, because a lot of people don't. And I think that's why a lot of relationships, they either struggle in the beginning because it's all, roses and, oh, come on, I love you and this and that. And, all the little, but then they don't have the hard conversations. They don't really get into the meat and bolts of of a relationship. And so I'm proud of you guys that you did. I'm anything else you want to say before we get to some fun stuff?
I'll say that during that time in COVID, it made us face that music quickly. Our relationship it wasn't even 6 months.
Like it was,
wow.
It was,
okay.
It happened so fast.
So you was on your sink or swim during COVID time.
Wow. There were times where we had to stop and really think. One, you realize during that time, life was short. You were seeing things that were happening. But the biggest thing that he showed me is when we did get into an argument, because we did get into an argument, but we're two only children. So only child syndrome is big.
Oh, wow.
Right. So he wants it his way. I want it my way.
Because you've always had it that way. Because it's only been you.
Right. It's always had to be. Now, because of his prior marriage, he had already learned to adjust that. I had not. But the thing about us getting into those tiffs or, those little arguments, he'd just stand up and say, I'm gonna walk away. And he'd walk away. And I'm talking to the back of his head and he just walking down the steps. And he needed his moment. And that taught me, okay, yes, I needed my moment too. And now that's a thing. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to dip out on you, but I gotta walk away.
It's okay to say that. It's okay to say, listen, I'm not gone, but I need to go for the moment. I need to breathe. I need to process. Because sometimes we don't even process the same. You know what I'm saying? The time frame I'm processing is not the same. You know what I'm saying? I process much quicker than my husband processes. And so sometimes he needs that moment just to think through all that's been said and done so that he can come back and have an intelligent, honest, open conversation with me, right? And so, but you get there. You get there if you're willing. If you're willing and you want it. Yep, you gotta want it. So, and I see that you guys want it. I'm happy for you. Like love, I love it. Love it. So I got something fun for you. We're going to do this, guys, on all of our couples. May not be the same questions, but we're going to see if it's the women rule or the men rule when it comes to who knows who better. Now, you guys have already been together for 5 years and you think you know everything about each other. I know you do. So we're going to see who does it better. Is it the mommy? Is it the poppy? Who does it matter? Listen, I know I'm a female, so I am rooting for the double X chromosome nation. Double X chromosome nation. I think we gonna rule. I think we gonna rule. So we gonna see who wears the crown. And we're gonna see this throughout our series. So y'all keep coming back to see. Looking on each other's papers. What? Don't even be looking. Oh, Lord. All right, cause we had just covered up. Okay. Question number 1.
Okay.
What is his? You answer, Tierra. You're gonna ask his, and you're gonna, for Darian, of course, you're gonna ask her. What is her dream vacation destination? And what is his dream destination, vacation destination, sorry. Then that means you got to already know your own too now. So you got to know where, if you could go anywhere in the world on vacation with your boo, where would it be?
Dang, she had multiple.
Well, the top one, her favorite, number 1. All right, you got it written down?
I think.
Okay. What stresses, Tierra, him the most? Finances, work, or home duties? Same for you, Darian. What stresses her the most? Finances, work, or home duties? Put it on your paper. Now you're asked.
She already know. I know that one. I got that one.
You got that one?
I got that.
What if I get this one wrong? You gonna be mad at me?
No, because I think I know the answer.
Come on, girl, listen. Come on, Tierra. You look. You rooting for the women now. You repping for us.
We might be 1-1 right now.
All right. What is your favorite? So you're answering the question about each other. Okay. What is her favorite way to de-stress? What is his favorite way to de-stress, Tierra? This is important to know because if your significant other is stressed out, you need to be able to know how and what is their way to de-stress. You need to know that so that you can help them de-stress. You don't need to be adding to the stress. You need to be helping with the de-stressing. So, Darian, what is her favorite way to de-stress? And it could be anything. If it's sex, if it's whatever it is, put down what their favorite way to de-stress is. Oh my God, Tierra's laughing. Darian, you like swinging from the chandeliers or something? Oh my God.
Right there. That was interesting. Okay. I want to know her answer. I do. I want to know her.
Well, her answer should be your answer because she's answering for you. So, okay. Number 4. What is her love language? What is his love language? And the love languages are, there's 5 of them. Acts of service, receiving gifts, for physical touch, words of affirmation, or quality time. So, Tierra is his love language, acts of service, receiving gifts, oh Lord, physical touch, words of affirmation, or quality time.
Did you go through puberty there for a second, bro?
Bruh.
You got that?
Yes.
We ready?
Mm-hmm.
The last question. If she or he, whoever you're answering for, could change one thing about themselves, what would it be? So, Darian, if Tierra could change one thing about herself, what would it be?
I know.
Tierra, if Darian could change one thing about himself, what do you think he would change? Don't say anything, Darian. Put right there your answers.
I don't know if I can say that answer.
That's what
Yes, you can. Stop talking. Stop talking. Don't give her any clues.
All right. Okay.
About to hit you. It's about to be domestic violence.
That's why you're surrounded by pillows. So that's why you're surrounded by pillows.
Okay.
It's number love.
I don't know.
Now, my husband would say she would want a flat stomach and bigger boobs. So they're tit for tat. I don't even know which one. But if I had to, and it doesn't have to be physical. It could be, want to be more self-confident. Whatever it is that you know about them that they would want to change about themselves. And that's probably my number one rather than the physical. Yes, absolutely.
That's a good one for me.
Okay.
Like for her, for me, that's a good one.
Okay. Well, you about to, you didn't put the ring on it. Ain't no refunds now, so she needs to know. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Get your cards together. So, question number 1. Darian, I asked, what is her dream vacation destination? Show me your card. What did you say? Hold it up. Let me see it.
So low?
Let me see it. Colombia. What is the answer? Yep. What is the answer, Tiara? What is the answer?
Colombia.
Colombia, is it?
South America.
Whoa! So he
Not
gets.
Colombia with the U. There's 2 different
That's
That's why I have to be spelled right.
But I think he knows. Yeah. So give yourself 5 points. Okay. He said, "Woo!" So he gets 5 points. What is his dream destination? First of all, wait a minute. Tell me, Darian, what it is.
Africa.
Let me show.
Jamaica or Africa?
Okay, you gotta pick, girl.
Well,
You had to pick. So I'm gonna give it to you, but you can't have an or.
Say that.
You can't have an or. You only have to have one.
She was right
Okay.
about that one.
All right, so you both got 5 points.
Yay.
What, Tiara, what stresses him the most? Hold on. Darian, what stresses you the most? Finances, work, or home duties?
Home duties.
Let me see, Tiara. She says work.
It's just me the most?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
your work, your job, or something at work issues. So
Yeah, when you come on, you're like,
I do.
that's what he does.
but home duty stresses you the
Because
most?
management,
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you got to talk about that. You got to talk about what stresses you out at home.
I would
So
say home duties because
go ahead.
I do quite a bit of them.
Oh,
He does.
okay.
I do
So
quite a
that
bit of
stresses.
cooking.
He does the
Yeah,
cooking.
I
Okay.
do. So
Yeah. So I'm fine with that.
that's all I do.
Well, now that you know that stresses him, you got to have to do something to take the load off a little bit. So
I mean, it really
But did
no,
just say-
you just said it stresses you. So we don't want you stressed.
But here's the thing. I wouldn't say work because when I come home, like you said, I'm like, man, and I let it go.
And you let it go.
I let
Okay.
it go. So that's why I can't say work because I'm not gonna bring it home.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good. Okay, for her. So what she said, like, I don't believe that, y'all. I don't believe that. So Tiara, what stresses you the most?
Finances. Did you say all?
He did. He said all. Nobody gets any points on this round. Okay. Darian. No. Tiara, what is your favorite way to de-stress? Show me your card, Darian. Just hold it up.
Read.
You said read? He says quiet time, quiet moments to yourself.
Yeah. Like, I'll give him that one because
I can't. Reading is different. You can do a lot of time in your quiet time. You could sleep, you could sit there. Reading is something specific.
Oh, see, she
So
on-
what
easy on you.
Nah,
What
she ain't.
did-
Yeah, she not.
what is your favorite way to de-stress?
It's sex. It's time.
No.
I say it's
Okay,
It's time.
so no, y'all both got 5 points. Listen, girl, I'm gonna need you to pull this thing
Yeah,
out.
you got-
Now I'm rooting for the double X chromosome nation. Now,
I got
okay,
this. I got
we got 2 more.
Okay.
What is your love language, Tiara?
I guess I'd say acts of service.
He says words of affirmation.
Oh,
So you like compliments, you like being affirmed. No, so Darian, no.
no.
She likes acts of service. So now you know this. Okay. Change some tires, wash her car, hey. Okay, for you, Darian, what is your love language?
I think that's actually
What?
words.
Words of affirmation? Oh, well, I said physical touch. Yes, you just said sex was your favorite de-stressor. So he likes, would you say acts of service? Or, no, words of affirmation. What was yours?
Words of affirmation, but
You can't be flip-flopping back and forth. Which one is yours?
nah, she got that one. She got that one. I got to give it that.
He's so touchy.
Yeah, I got to get that one. She's right.
Do you even know your own damn self, Darian?
I do. I know. Sometimes I don't.
So it's really physical touch.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I do like this. I don't even know it. Like
Well, you do that, but do you want that done back to you? That's your love language.
I do
Okay.
because that's what I'm expecting. I'm saying like, yo,
They say, gotcha.
and I'm paying attention that I'm doing.
Gotcha. All right, so she gets 5 points. So she's up right now. So this is the last one. If she or he could change one thing about him or herself, what would it be? What would you change about yourself, Tiara? I would change how I'll be honest, I'll say how I look. What do you mean by that? What about your looks?
I used to be smaller, and now I apparently enjoy his cooking a little too much. So added a little extra love pounds on, so that would be
So you would be smaller in your opinion. Okay. So what did you say? He said you would.
What did you write?
Breast size.
So I'm gonna give it to him because you can't have he said either you would change your breast or your size. But he says or size. So I'll give that. So you're tied right now. So this is a tiebreaker. What would you change about yourself, Darian?
It's pretty. You had said the answer. Might as well be self-confidence.
Self-confidence. Let me see what she got.
you wanted to get bigger. Like, you want to be bigger.
Buffer, like, okay.
I mean, that'll be my self-confidence. I want to have like self-confidence.
Gotcha. So I think, did you pull this out of here, Darian? He pulled this out, girl. You know. So, okay. The men's got the crown for today.
That's fine. What is that?
Now we go. What? This a circle? Well, you doing a heart?
No. That thing was like this.
Play it back.
That thing was bad.
Well, we truly appreciate you guys. I'm so happy. It was so much fun, and I hope people have really learned from this, and can grow therefrom.
Ask your partners your questions so that you learn and understand. But sometimes they have to be open and honest
Yes.
about what they want.
Well, that is the great segue into our ending because we always end with let's talk about it. So what she said was make sure you're talking, make sure you're communicating. And until then, let's talk about it.